questions that I have for you guys beforehand. The first thing is vendors for the vendor fair. Has everybody referred all their people that they really want to be here for that? Have you guys referred those people to Sarah?
I did refer them, but the poll hasn't received any calls from anybody.
Okay, okay.
Did you?
Sylvia, and I emailed him,
Okay.
and I told him I was out for the weekend, and I would get back with him
I was
today.
gonna say, we just had a conversation this morning.
I got about 3 referrals on Friday, and I was out of town, and I just emailed them saying, here's the invite, and I'm gonna get back with you.
Sounds good.
Excellent.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Excellent, excellent. Anybody else?
Refers.
I'm gonna go find my guy to come.
Perfect, perfect. Okay, good. Was that just a sucker or was that a, okay, good. I don't know if that was like a hand gesture or what that was. All right, so we've been asked if we would like to have Bold in January. Now, we're just starting Bold now. Do you guys want to do it again in January or would you rather wait until the spring launch?
Spring.
When's the spring? Is that March?
Yes,
Well,
so it's usually,
I plan on taking it in January again
okay,
to launch my 2020.
okay.
I highly recommend that if you're not in Bold, that you take it. And if it's not here at this market center, I'd be happy to carpool with anybody to any of the Chicagoland locations that would be hosting it. I'd rather have it here. I think we're at a point right now where we can have a really strong launch. And for those agents that are currently in it right now, you are definitely going to benefit from it. Kim and I sit down in our coaching sessions and we talk about what is called my Bold bump. Between every single time I take Bold, I have between 7 and 10 contracts, between 7 and 12 listings each and every single time. So if you don't find benefit, obviously you are independently wealthy to begin with. And
We all start, that's how it is. No, that's awesome. Yeah.
I just would like to add one more thing. I personally think it would be better in January because then it's gonna rev all of us up for the spring market.
Okay.
Instead of trying,
Okay.
you know, and attempting to take it and competing in the.
So
spring.
I really think that we would be able to host it here.
Like, seriously?
Yes. So, well, we may, depending on how many people, I'm not sure that we'd physically be able to do it here. I know that that's a possibility. So if I have enough interest and there's yes, then I'm gonna go ahead and they've reached out to us. Pat Mancuso's the one that coordinates. So I'm gonna go ahead and reach out and let them know, yes, we're interested in doing that. Let us know what we need to do and we'll move forward. Thank you, thank you. Okay, who attended the ALC clinic last week?
gratitude card from.
Oh, that's awesome.
Gratitude brownies.
Oh, perfect. We can cut those up and pass them around. So what were your ahas from? So for those of you who don't know, the ALC is the Associate Leadership Council. Those are folks that are in the top 20% of production in the office. And so Thursday was just a day for those who are interested in being on the ALC to show up and hear what it was going to be all about, hear what the benefit would be, and then make a decision. So, what were your ahas? Yes.
Well, Herb and I were going to do our little book club on the team, the
Great teams. Mhm.
And based on the ALC clinic, we're not doing that book, and we're gonna do the MREA.
So they've decided instead of great teams to read as a team, they're going to read the MREA. Why?
Well, because there were people in there that read it 10, 12 times, and there were people in there when their business was bad, they go do it again. And there were also a ton of agents that haven't even read it one time.
Which is crazy to me.
Yeah.
And I can say it's crazy because when I was an agent before I got into leadership, I had not read it either. I had, kind of sifted through and found little pieces and parts that were appealing and read those and checked it out. But as far as reading it from front to back, I felt more like, oh, this is a book for people that want to build a team, is what I thought as an agent. Now, whatever reasoning that it was what it was. And so I didn't really study it a whole lot. And I've read it, I don't know how many times, and I've coached and consulted with it for 5 years. And when I started going through the process to become a MAPS coach, you have to know it inside and out. You are tested on it. You really have to know it at a very high level. And I realized at that point how little I knew about that book. And at that point, I had read it multiple times. And I, like I said, consulted with it for 5 years. So at that point, 4 years. So there's so much to learn in there. But really the bottom line of that story is to not reinvent the wheel.
Well, you're absolutely
Yeah,
right.
that it's already there. We go about like trying to find all these systems and what can I create on my own, and we overcomplicate everything and make it really hard, which is funny, not funny, but ironic that we're going to be talking about that a little bit today. What else? We're there all day. It was an all day thing. Rhonda.
I just loved hearing more of the history of Gary Keller and how he set up things, and especially the breakdown of the profit share.
Okay.
You know, because I was like, I've been here over a year and I didn't know either one of those things.
Excellent. And we'll do the breakdown of the profit share. We'll do that again so that everybody can see that. What else? Lynette.
For me, kind of like what she said on that history and how the AOC was formed and how important it was at that time and how it's still in existence and what a big impact it can have on a company if it's run properly. I mean, the fact that agents get to discuss and their businesses and know what works and share with the market center is pretty awesome.
It is.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where when you're in a room, have any of you ever attended Family Reunion or Mega Camp or any of those things, right? And they give you your name tag, and your name tag has a little symbol on it. You might be a sailboat or whatever. Have you seen those? You have what for masterminds? You break up into different masterminds, right? And that's based on production level in one way or another, either profitability or agent count or something. But that's how they separate it. So it's the exact same thing with the ALC. You're now all of a sudden you're in this room with the top 20%. So like-minded individuals in that you run your business a little bit differently. And there's nothing right or wrong about that. It's the fact that you're at a different place in your business and in your life than other people. When I first got into real estate, I was quite capable of being a $10 million producer. However, I had 2 little kids and they were my priority. So a $10 million business was not my priority. Taking care of my kids was my priority, right? And right when my business started to take off, my dad got really, really sick and I'm an only child. And so then it was, well, now I'm helping to take care of my dad and that's the priority, right? So my business was on hold for about 5 years. So when people come to me and they're like, oh, well, I don't sell 8 or 10 or 12 million, well, why? What's going on in your life? Because I know you're not just going to go, well, I just don't want to. I don't need that money and I just don't want to do it, right? There's always something else. There's always a reason. So I don't want to say, oh, being in the top 20% makes everybody so much better. No, they're in a different chapter in their business right now than everybody else is. Everybody has the capacity and the ability to get there. What else? Any other big thing? Yes.
For me, it was a lot of self-discovery. The biggest thing that I discovered were patterns. And you see these patterns and you see consistent growth, and the pattern was a consistent growth of a certain dollar amount year over year over year. And now it becomes predictability in my business now. I'm going to grow from this point to this point. And this is where I'm going to be at in a year from now if I keep on doing the same activities that I've been doing. What you were just talking about, though, kind of rang another little bell for me about being in the ALC, the top 20% being together in a room. And, you've said this to me before, and it stuck with me. And this is going to be one of my sayings: you can't be a thoroughbred if you hang out with donkeys.
It's true. It's so nice. That's a Kentucky, the Kentucky, what's a good word? I'll think of a good word for that. Because I don't want to say it's not slang and it's not jargon. But we could call it Kentucky wisdom. It's Kentucky wisdom. But no, it is. It's true. Who you're around matters. That's why you all coming here on Mondays says so much. I know there are so many of you who come from a far distance. How far do you drive to get here?
45, 50 minutes.
Yeah. So, I mean, I know I better bring it on Mondays or Arturo's going to get me because he drives a long distance, right? So, and what he was referring to was we pulled out everyone's multi-year trends that was on the ALC and really went over them and helped you to dissect them and see what they mean. Again, when I was an agent, a newer agent, I didn't do that. I knew they existed. I knew the tools were there. I didn't really dive deep into them because my production wasn't, I guess I thought valid or didn't warrant me going through those numbers because I thought, well, if I don't have really big numbers, what does it really matter? And so I didn't really focus on that. And then once I did start to focus on that more, is when the numbers started to increase. So, thank you all for that. Okay, so shifting gears a little bit, and I think we did discuss this in the ALC clinic a little bit, so some of you guys will recognize it. But the climate of today is that there are multiple outside sources trying to take your business away from you. And this was just something that I wrote down. I was thinking, okay, what are agents dealing with? And in the past, I felt like our biggest competition was the agent next door, right? Or, the other big agent in the neighborhood or in the town, whatever. And that is not your biggest competitor today. So there are so many outside sources coming for your business. And the fact that we have to constantly be learning and constantly pivot to keep up with that. And one of the things that Bruce did ask the other day, he said, how many of you all believe that your client wants an on-demand agent? And I would say a solid 80% of that room raised their hands. There were about 300 people in that room. And then he said, how many of you don't believe in that? And there were a few of us that raised our hands, right? And they don't want an on-demand agent. They want on-demand information, right? They just want to know. And so Zillow came out, and Zillow made people feel like they knew a little more because of the Zestimate, right? Is the Zestimate accurate?
No.
Is the Zestimate remotely accurate? No. Yet, it's just enough to make people feel like they know more, and they go to that, right? So when we talk about what are we protecting and what are we trying to do, ultimately, you don't even have to tell a great story. You just have to tell a story. You just have to get something out there, right? Here at the ALC clinic today, having a great time, whatever. People just want to know you. So I wrote down that it's time to do a fall cleanup and reconnect with your people. And when I say that, I don't think that you necessarily have time to pick up the phone and call everyone that you know. You do have time to do that with some of them, right? But the main thing that you need to do is start telling your story. How do I reconnect? How do I get myself out there? How do I get people to realize what I do and why I do it and what matters to me, right? So you don't have to put something about a house on there every day. Nobody really cares, right? But anything, just put something on there. For whatever reason, we have this humility factor of, oh, I don't want to be like, a know-it-all, or I don't want to put myself out there and brag, or, I don't know what it is, but they don't want to do that. I am intensely, like almost psychotically private. And so when there are things going on with my family or whatever, I don't put that stuff out there. I have friends that'll put things out there, oh, prayers, please, and they'll start listing all these things going on. You could not beat me to death and get me to do something like that. I would just not ever do that. That's my private business. That doesn't mean though, Kim, because I'm talking to myself right now, that I can't put something out there, right? Take a picture of my crazy dogs or, whatever, something, and get it out there. But you've got to reconnect with your people. And so what I realized for me was the thing that I'm focusing on at the time, which would be the thing that I would maybe want to talk about, that I really don't want to talk about, I can't get out of my head that there's more to life than that. So it could be I'm at the grocery store and there's, like in Kentucky, it's just a big joke. If we get 1 inch of snow, you cannot get bread or milk in a 30-mile radius. And everybody's like, what are you eating, bread and milk sandwiches? What are you doing? But people just go nuts, and it's all over Facebook. People will take pictures of that. And so it just got me thinking, okay, what if we just made a promise to ourselves that every single day we would post something? And I think, I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure, because I'm almost always right. If you ask my husband, and this is probably being recorded, I'm always right, sweetie, correct? I think it's because we aren't quite certain of our own value. We question our value. We question what other people might be able to gain from what we have to offer. And we don't want to come across as a know-it-all or show off or whatever, right? Or have you ever done this? You're going to post something, and then you see something like another agent or somebody else post something else on social media that day. And you're like, oh, well, now I can't post post it. I mean, I've done that before. Like, it's dumb, but I've done that before. And the bottom line is it goes back to that 3% crossover. If we all had the exact same friends, they would see 3% of what I post, and right? Like, there's not a great deal of crossover, but we tell ourselves crazy things. So the other thing I've learned is if I give you all an assignment and I give you a week to complete it, it's not going to happen. So right now, if you do not have my number in your phone, I need for you to right now pick up your phone. Don't touch it.
I can bring my phone.
No, but you're fine. Don't touch. Our contacts are perfect. Leave them. Put my number in your phone, and I'm going to write it up here.
She gave me her bad phone number. That's why.
I did.
You have the bat line, basically.
Okay. So there's my phone number. Put it in your phone right now, as we say, right now. So that way everybody has it in there. So one of the assignments that I'm going to give you all, and when I say assignment, I mean we're gonna take 5 minutes. We're gonna do it right now. So I need for you to send me 20 things about you. Okay? 20 things. Now the assignment is going to be 50. Oh, I don't think I brought my phone either. And I sat down and wrote my, there it is. Thanks, John. There's my phone. Strong memory is not one of them. And so, 50 things that you know about you, right? Mine was like, I'm honest, I'm loyal, I think I even wrote in there, honest to a fault. I'm a great mom. I'm a good singer, like whatever. I don't care if you're a good gardener, if you're good at doing hair, if you just like are phenomenal with trimming your facial hair. I don't care what it is, right? But I want to know 20 things, and just literally open it up. You can either type it as a note and text me the note, or you can text me right now. But I need 20 things, and you have 5 minutes. And everybody's like, what? 20 things. Let's see who's in here.
You really want to?
Julian, hello, darling. Hi, Gabe. Love you. Let's see who else is on here. Oh, good, guys. So if you're on Facebook Live, you still have the assignment. Gabe, you have a free pass. But everybody else, 5 minutes, 20 things texted to me.
Give them the number just in case they text you.
Oh, they all should have it. We'll see. Okay, so just in case you don't have it, my number is 859-351-3986, and you are texting 20 positive things about yourself. Is it so hard? Good. The horses wouldn't be able to say that. Who has at least 10? Good. Oh, but you should not have to think that hard. I don't even know you that well, and I could give you 20 fantastic things. I can see from you have great style. Nobody wears cute glasses like that if they don't have great style. And shoes that I want to steal every time I see you. Yeah.
I agree, she does have
Right?
good style.
I mean, what's pathetic is I don't even know any of you like really, really well, and I can give you 20 things about everybody. It's just hard when it's, let's go, babe, let's go. Oh my gosh, are you serious? You're loyal, you're loving, you have a big heart. Is it on there? Mhm. Generous, very good.
Ray, you wanna trade phones? I can come up with 20 pretty quick.
He is, I know, right? I'll have to text them to you. I feel bad, I can't sit here and do your homework for you. I know you're fine. I know you're adventurous, 'cause you're not like that if you're not adventurous. Come on, people. You're amazing. I know you're fun. Nobody eats purple suckers. You're not fun. For those of you with kids, if you don't have I'm a great mom or a great dad on there, come on up front so I can kick you in your shins. You have 1 minute. Oh my God. Well, Ray, we can put humble on there. So if you're struggling. My man. I mean, y'all are gonna have 50. You're gonna have to give me 30 more between now and next week.
Oh my God.
Come on. So you're I just need 20 now. Come on, man. Come on, man.
Rephrase the same thing over and over.
Exactly. Are you kidding me? Do you have anything written down? Okay, good. You have like 30 seconds. Oh my God.
I clean hands.
When you're on pressure, you're like, what?
Great there.
Do it? Yep. How you doing, JC? All right. All right, that's it. Just send me what you've got. Jeez. Add overthinker. I don't have 20. Put way too calculated if you don't have 20 on there. I take myself way too seriously. It could be. All right, who has a few they'd like to share? I was gonna say, everybody can, okay, go ahead.
I'm a phenomenal storyteller.
A phenomenal storyteller.
Yes, you
See,
are.
look at that. I love it, and you're creative. Did you put that down there?
No.
But you obviously have a creative mind, that's beautiful. Yeah. Who else? Look, Obi's dying. She's like,
One of my favorite things about being a good mom is choosing good art. I love art.
she loves art. Very good, very good. And see, I've tried to educate my kids on certain things like that I love, and maybe when they get older it'll stick though, right? Maybe. What else? Yes.
I'm passionate about dancing.
Passionate about dancing. Yes, sir.
I love to quilt and play golf.
She loves to quilt and play golf. Any other golfers in the room? Look at there. We got one.
I think I am kind of.
One that'll halfway admit it.
I'll go like twice a year.
Very good. What else? Yes. But you, sorry, you wave that sucker, you're gonna get called on eventually.
I love, okay, so my kids are my life, that's my first thing.
Yep.
I love my husband, and my mom is my hero. I love helping others, I'm honest, I'm loyal.
Okay, so right there, if you just stop right there, she said, my kids are my whole life. So what could you get out of just that sentence? What are some things you could say? If you're talking to a friend, She's a great mom.
Family's important.
Family's important.
She's a role model.
She's a role model. She's a caregiver.
Listener.
She's a protector. Right? So you see where I'm going with this? If you really just don't stop overthinking it, stop trying to be so humble or feel like you're bragging if you say something good about yourself. That is your problem with social media. That is your problem with showing your value proposition to your clients when you sit down in a listing appointment. Stop it with the, I don't want to be braggy, and I don't want to come across as somebody who's overbearing and blah, blah, blah. I don't want to be that person, because that's something that we're all turned off to, or you wouldn't have such a hard time writing these things down, right? So you've got to be able to overcome that and know what you have to offer and know what you bring to the table. Is that fair to say? What else? What are a couple of other things that you guys have written down?
I speak 3 languages.
You speak 3 languages?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
What?
All
Did you write genius on one of your things? I'm a genius. I'm an avid learner.
Yeah.
Right? Which one do you mostly speak to Sylvia?
English.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
When you want to get sexy, do you speak a different language?
Yeah. A little bit of Portuguese.
Yeah, you're like, hey baby, what's for dinner? You know, it's like no, that's great. But I want you guys to really think about that, you know, and encourage your significant other or your kids to be able to do the same thing. So I did this exercise with my daughter, and I definitely have this. I want to raise strong women, and I want them to understand their worth, and I don't want my daughter to attach, or my son for that matter, to attach their worth to someone else. I don't ever want them to feel like they're only important if, or they only matter if, or they can only bring something to the table if, right? Like we were just having this conversation Thursday morning. And so when I asked my kids to do this exercise, it took them like 2 minutes to write 50.
Oh, wow.
They didn't overthink it. They didn't have a society around them, right, that made them feel like they were obnoxious if they said something good about themselves. And so that made me very happy. And I didn't for one second think, oh, well, y'all are pricks. You know, I didn't think that at all, because they were really honest, you know, and like one of them was like, I love to try different foods. So, I mean, you just have got to stop putting those boundaries around yourself of what's negative, what's positive. That's why you overthink the whole social media thing, right? Just remember that. When you go to post, just post it. I mean, now don't post something silly, right? But come on. You know what I mean when I say just post it. Because I could hear that sentence coming back to bite me later on. Somebody would write something dumb on social media and be like, well, Kim said to just post it. That's not what I mean, people. Okay, so life is all about your ability to adapt and overcome things. And this was something that I had written in a journal a long time ago. Life is all about your ability to adapt and overcome, basically. And because I feel like, and I'm sure a lot of you all feel like, you're constantly adapting. And once you adapt, oh, there's another pivot. And then you adapt it, oh, there's another pivot. And I was having this conversation with my daughter the other night, last night actually, and I was talking about doing this exercise. And she said, well, I hope you know you're a great mom. And I said, I literally like kind of teared up, you know, and I was like, you know, that means everything coming out of your mouth. Because she said, well, you've always been a great mom. And I said, well, thank you. And I want you to understand that you're constantly adapting as a parent, because just about the time, you know, your kids go through all these different phases. And so just about the time you feel like you've got it down, right? Let's just start with babies. Okay. And you get their sleep schedule halfway down, and oh, we've got them. Yeah. Right. But then it changes, right? Or you get them to try food. You've tried to get them to eat this food for so long, and then they don't eat the food. And then all of a sudden they eat the food, but now it's a different phase and they won't do something else, right? Or and you're gonna have to like give me a little
Shocker.
Yeah, because I know it drives them crazy. Nobody else pays attention. You're up here like keeping tally marks on me. I know you are. And so, but
Getting there.
I know now I totally lost my train of thought. Oh, different phases and having to pivot. So it's, once we get there, and it's the exact same thing. Do you all know what I'm talking about with parenting?
Mm-hmm.
Just as soon as you get something down, their personalities switch, or they mature a little, or their needs change, or they go to a different grade, or they have different friends, or whatever, right? There's a constant pivoting. It's the same way with your business. So life overall is just how we survive it, how we get through it, is how adaptable we are. Now, for someone like me, who deep down in my soul, I'm just a 90-year-old grandpa. Like, I am. You know, I like the little public radio system, and I like just boring things, you know, and I'm not overly social. You know, like the business planning clinic, after that was over that night, I had to, the real estate school was here, and I had to present to them. So I had to stay all day, and then stay and give a presentation to the real estate school. And I mean, by the time I got home, to say I was exhausted, because my social vector had been stretched for like 12 hours that day. I mean, I needed to lay in bed for like 3 days after that. I was like, that is not, you know, some people are just like, well, that's my jam, right? I can do that. Yeah, not me. It's exhausting. So when it's somebody that has that, that inability to change or pivot very easily, that was hard, right? And so to constantly remind myself every day that I have to change. So the reason that I pulled this up is because I wanted to ask you all a very honest question. And I mean, I want the first thing that comes to your head, I want it to come out of your mouth. No judgment. All right? Nobody's going to have to write a check to KW Cares if it's bad and ugly. Okay? I want the truth. What good is this to you? This is command. What good is it? Say it.
Not much right now.
Not much. What else?
I haven't really figured it out.
Okay, haven't figured it
I know
out.
how good it is.
What good is it?
It is the world to me right now.
Okay.
I was proud to receive a referral from someone, and I got to say to them, you can send it to me on command because my team and I are fully compliant in command.
Stop it. You just earned yourself a spot on the calendar to teach. He's like,
I
that's
didn't say we were
awesome.
good at it, I
Yeah.
just said we were fully
Yeah, but that's
compliant.
awesome. Congrats. That's great. What else? Say it. Somebody had their hand up over here. One of
I was
you.
gonna say it's a good opportunity to learn something new.
It's a good opportunity. I want the bad and the ugly. Let's hear it. What is this? When somebody says command, what's the first thing you think?
I think it's
A
cool.
lot of work,
Think it's cool?
it's a lot of work, but it's worth it when you get it.
It's a lot of work.
I like
Yeah, I was frustrated, and once I learned how to work it, now it's like, oh my gosh, this is going to be good in my business,
Yeah.
part of my success in my business.
What else?
I think it's great for getting organized. A lot of work to get up and running, and kind of frustrating. Some of the pieces aren't operational yet, but and all in all, it's going to be good when it's all up and running
And that's the key, and that's what I wrote down here. Things are going to be hard now, and later they're going to be easy. So when let's rewind back to what I said at the very beginning of the meeting, that there are outside sources coming after your business. If you all can get this, if you can adopt this at a remotely decent level, I'm not even going to say at a high level. This platform is something that doesn't exist on the planet Earth. So no other company has it. They're working feverishly right now to copy it. No one has it, right? We have it. There's no type of CRM that does what this does anywhere. It doesn't exist. So if you just halfway kind of adopt this, you're going to be eons ahead of the competition. So the thing that people aren't realizing right now is if you go back a couple of years ago when everybody was making fun of Gary, when he was having the technology talk and people were like, oh, he's lost his marbles. And, you know, he's getting made fun of like on Twitter and getting made fun of on social media. And even Brad Inman was making fun of him. And now, fast forward to just a little under 2 years later, they're all frantically trying to copy it because they're catching on to what's happening. And so the reason that I show you this is it really is your friend. You just have to get in and play with it. And so, you know, my daughter loves to watch The Office. And when we don't have volleyball on Saturdays, which has been 3 since we've lived here, if that gives you any indication, she likes to come in my room. Hey, let's lay in bed and crawl up in your bed. And I want to watch The Office. And I used to watch The Office with her. And so the last time that we did that, I asked her, hey, would you be okay if you play The Office and I'll watch and listen, and I'm just gonna play around on my laptop while The Office is on? She was like, I don't care, because she really just wants to be laid up in bed with me, right? So I just did that. She watched like 4 episodes, and I can't tell you what all I learned. I can show you one thing that I learned. So what I am gonna do is, I'm gonna move this over, so that it can be a little closer up so people can see the screen. What can I use? That's not gonna work, but it's a good effort. Yeah, sorry, I hate to ask you to do that. And I need you to. I hate to ask you to do that, and I need you to. Okay, so for instance, landing pages. So I had asked my assistant to set me up as a contact in Command and send me get me going on a landing pages campaign, okay? And I wasn't getting it. And I called her, and she said, Kim, I promise I put you in and I set it up. And I said, well, I'm not getting it. And quite frankly, I didn't believe her that she had done it. And so what I did is, if you just go here to contacts, and I'm going to pull myself up because I'm in here as a contact. And if you just scroll, so right now it has my neighborhood, it has everything in there that's attached to my name, because it'll give you, based on if you have their address in there, it will give you suggested neighborhoods. So even if I had gone this far and I had typed in my address and it gave me Tower Lakes, so when she moved on from that, she thought that meant I was getting updates on Tower Lakes, right? You're not. So if you see that, you aren't finished. So click here where it says View Kelly Guide. So this is what I learned while we were watching The Office. And you see right down here in the middle of Get Started. And wait, I'm going to go back. What does it say right here?
Activate smart.
So if you don't do this step here, you can have addresses with every single person in your database, and they will not receive a landing page. So you have to go through all of these steps, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And as you do it, and you're adding all of these things in over here, so the branded header, right? You fill that part out. You upload your picture, you type in whatever. So I went to, and all I did was I would just go to my website, copy and paste the URL, put it in. I set myself, like, one of the things is set up your mobile app. So I emailed, I'm sure there's a smarter way, John could tell you, but the way I do it, and the way I do it, is I just emailed myself my app from my phone. I said, share my mobile app via email. I emailed it to myself, copied the link, pasted it into here, and it attached it to my app, right? You have to go through all these steps and then save it at the end. And then once it's saved and this is set up, boom, the landing pages start going out. For everybody that has an address in a neighborhood attached to their name, okay? So just don't forget that step. So that's something that I didn't know. And until I took the time to lay in my bed with a laptop on my legs while we were watching The Office. My point is, you don't need to take a great deal of time and concentration. Just play with it. You can't break it. Trust me. You can't break it. So, but you also need to understand that this is ongoing. It's constantly going to change. That's the idea. It's just like Facebook. Think of Facebook and think of how many times it's changed since you've been using it. There's constant updates and changes to the program. It's all about making it better and how to connect you better. So it's going to be the same thing here. So don't get frustrated when you go back in, oh, well, something else has changed. And I just need you to understand that this is going to make your life so much easier later on. When you, yes.
Okay, Kim, one of the things that I wanted to mention, because I think that whole landing page thing is awesome. However, anytime I tried to do it and pull it up, and I had even sent it to the KW support, you had multiple, the same house was listed multiple times. Like when an agent will cancel and relist it as new, it keeps showing up.
Sure. Have you tried that recently?
Not in the last probably couple, 2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
I should try it again.
Yeah, I would get back in there and look at it again.
Because no, it's an awesome
Yeah.
snapshot of what's going on.
I would go back in and check it again, and if it's
Okay.
still doing it, let us know.
Okay.
when they are doing the updates, it never fails. If I have an appointment with a recruit that day, I'll sit down that morning, I'll go all through command, all the steps of what I want to do. Okay, great, everything's working, we're good. And that afternoon, when I sit down to talk to the person, they're in the middle of an update or something happens and it's frozen. Or like it's happened to me like the last 4 times in a row. I just breathe through it. It's going to be a good thing, right? So I just don't want you to let this hinder you because I feel a whole lot of hindrance. I feel a whole lot of you all are holding back. I don't know why. You're holding back because it would be different if I felt like I had a room full of people that weren't really cut out for real estate. So I don't feel that way at all. And whenever we were talking about some of the things in the ALC clinic and when I'm hearing some of the feedback that I get on command, like you all don't believe in yourselves enough. Like, what do we have to do to get you back to that 7-year-old who was going to be an astronaut or whatever, right? Like I could do anything. And we get so bogged down, I feel like, by the negative things and the difficult things. And that's what we focus on because as adults, that's our job. That really is. It's our job is to find the bad thing and fix it. Or to be able to expect the negative things or to prepare for the bad things or prepare for the negative things. And it gets to be that's what we focus on. And we have to stop that. So we've got to really be able to go back to your list of all of the things that you're really, really good at. Go back to understanding that this is a gift. This is an amazing gift. You all, this is going to put companies out of business. Do you understand that? That's not me I'm not bragging. This is the epitome of Blockbuster and Netflix. And, and the places right now that are putting their foot in the sand and saying, hell no, we won't go. You're going to go. Like, you're going to go. Your agents aren't going to have a choice. So the idea that someone is working so feverishly to give us a tool that's going to protect our businesses and not only protect them, grow them exponentially. Your job is just to get in here and do the fall cleanup. You've got to reconnect with your people. So what are some things that you could do if you were going to reach out to folks in here? Oh, let's not even go there. I've got another question here at the end and I don't want to go there just yet. Okay, so you have to be a student of the game. In order to, and here, let me move this back here. I'm sorry. I don't want you to have to do that. I want you to be able to. Sorry for the folks watching if you're barfing right now. Oh my gosh, this is just the biggest, most ridiculous thing. This is me being positive and nice. Okay. Okay. You have to be a student of the game. So the days of I'm just going to wait for my phone to ring, or the people that I've done business with before love me, and so they're going to keep calling me. That's all over. Those days are gone, like really gone. I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm not saying this because I don't think your family and your friends love you. They do. They just want on-demand information, and if they can get that information faster somewhere else, they're going to. It's nothing at all against you. It's just human nature. They're going to do that. So be a student of the game. The biggest challenges with realtors today is number 1, not using a database. Number 2, the speed of change. And number 3, they've been in the busy time, right? So you're coming off of that. Some of you are like crazy busy right now, and that's a great thing.
What's the last one again?
The busy time is now. So right now you all are kind of coming off of the busy time, but I feel like some of you are starting to ramp up. And with bold, it's going to happen.
Oh, what's the second one?
So number 1 is not using a database. Number 2 is the speed of change. And number 3 is the busy time is now. And so when we think of that, you all, the speed of change, again, grandpa, right? I don't particularly like change. I just don't. Yeah.
I don't like change. And matter of fact, this
Yeah.
was really
Gives me-
upsetting and
gives you some highs.
confusing. And now for me, if you show me the cost benefit,
Oh,
and not even, here's what this can do, and this is how your business can be easier, because it's how much money I'm saving now by not using this CRM over here, or this transaction service over here, and this other service over here, and now I'm saving $175 a month in these additional monthly subscriptions for these different services that I use to operate my business now that are included in this.
And how effective it is versus where we've spent our dollars in the past. So so not using a database, guys, I don't know how else to preach it. We've preached it. The only thing I can tell you is now moving forward, when we get together for our small group masterminds, whether it's ALC, whether it's a mastermind in my office, whether it's production groups that we're going to be doing, it's what we're going to be doing every meeting. You're going to be bringing your laptop to every single one. Because I've realized this is how many homework assignments have I given you all over the last 2 months just to see, like, where are we? What is it? And this is not a literally zero judgment. This is life, right? Like, life happens and it makes it very difficult. And you're all pumped up when you're in here and you walk out the door and life happens. So the best way I feel like I can serve you and my leadership team can serve you is that when you're physically here, we're doing it. Everything now is a live lab. And when you walk out of here, it's done. Because if I rely on you to go home and do it at night and I have to say, okay, Scott, I need for you to choose tonight. Okay, tonight I need for you to choose between adding 20 people to your database or doing your homework assignment for me of 20 people or holding your baby who has a fever or cooking dinner because your wife is working and feeding your kids, or, right? I need you to choose. This better lose every single time, right? Like, it's going to lose every single time. So it's not fair to say, okay, go this week and do this and go this week and do that. I think that once we get in the habit of doing it and you see how little time it takes, Arturo, y'all are a perfect example of how long do you feel like you went without having a firm grasp on the exact numbers?
Oh, a long time.
Do you think it was years?
Years, yes.
And in 1 hour?
We did.
So it's a lot of it is just we don't really want to do it. We don't know the truth. We don't really know, right? Like, I'm there. I can see that perspective. So the idea is that we get in here and we just knock it out and we do it. Because, guys, what's going to happen is this mobile app is going to come out at the end of the year and the land grab is going to start. And I want my people on top. I do. Very, very competitive. And so that's one of the reasons I'm taking bold this session is I want to be on top of the methods that they're using now and what they're getting behind and how we can incorporate what we do. John's doing the same thing. He's taking it as well. So how we can incorporate our tools into what they're teaching us in bold. Because I want to help you all grow your business. And coming in here on Monday and giving you some great tools and some great motivation and helping you with some self-awareness and that's all great. And we're going to keep doing that. Don't get me wrong. However, we also have to focus on the do. So that second piece there, the speed of change, we can't really afford to take a long time to do that now. Because now it's a matter of they said it last week in the clinic that a year from now, this business is going to be run very differently than it is today. And so the people who aren't doing that, you all have two great opportunities. One would be to get them here and help them. And the second would be to buy their database when they're out of the business. And that's not me saying, oh, we're wonderful, we're great. This is a real thing. Did you know that Blockbuster had the opportunity to buy Netflix?
Yes.
And they said no.
Oops.
Yeah. And it's what we're living now. And for realtors that have been in the business, Carol, how long have you been in the business?
27 years.
So 27 years, was that before the MLS? Did you use the books?
We use the books.
Okay. So for someone who's been in the business as long as you've been in, and you've seen, right, how everything has changed. Do you remember, I remember 10 years ago back in the day, when I would put a sign in the yard, I knew that I could close 5 or 6 deals every year just from sign calls. Did you have those where you would get excited about the sign calls and you could turn over a sign call? How many sign calls do you get today?
Minimal.
Very minimal.
Why?
Because they're looking them up online on their iPhone and iPad on their house.
Because they have all the information in their hand. The business is changing. And it's changing at a very rapid rate. And now that everybody else is onto it, right, it's going to change even faster. So my job, the responsibility that I feel is what can I do to help you get on this and get on this at a very high level. So, and that's what we're going to do. So we're just going to start plowing down, and we may have a few night sessions. We may have a Saturday session, some off-course things that we can do just to give everybody an opportunity to be in here. but it's happening. Those things are going to be on the calendar in November. So if you had to double your results this week, how would you change your activities? If you knew that you had one listing and you've got to get one more listing this week, you have to. You're not going to be able to make your house payment. What are you going to do differently than what you're doing right now?
Door knocking.
Door knocking.
Phone calls.
So fun. Shoot me in the face. Just can't even imagine. Yeah, I'm telling you, he's the man. He's got it down. I'm like, it's not my thing, but you know. What else? Door knocking.
Call my database to update their information and hopefully.
Call him to update it. So what would that call look like? Call me. She's like, oh, why did I say that?
Come
Ring,
on,
ring.
you got this.
Hello?
Hi Kim, how are you? It's Lynette.
Lynette who?
Lynette with Keller Williams.
Oh, hey, Lynette. How are you?
I'm doing well, very good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
How's the family?
You know what? Just busy. Everybody's running around like crazy people.
No, I bet that's just how it goes, right?
Yes.
He will just wanted to call you, say hi, say how you guys are doing, but I also wanted to call you to see if I can ask you a couple of questions. I'm trying to update my database. And I noticed I don't have your full address in your email.
Okay. I'll give you my address, but are you going to send me junk, Lynette?
No, I'm not actually. I'm actually, our company's going through some changes and we're updating our systems. And with me having your email and your address, I can send you some useful information.
Okay. So I'm going to stop her there. First of all, give her a big hand. That was awesome. She's like so nice. You know, you're so nice. That's awesome. So, and you were totally caught off guard. But listen, she's a baller for doing that in front of everybody. That was awesome, right? But know what you're going to tell them. You know, already have in mind what you're going to tell. Oh my gosh, you know what? So for instance, we have a list of people that when they bought their home and they were in a certain interest rate, there's a group of them. And then a different interest rate, and we have those people in a group. And so then when you say, oh, well, what are you going to send me? What is my email address? And I would say, oh my gosh, Lynette, when you bought your house with us, your interest rate was 4.65. Number one, they have no friggin' clue what that interest rate was. Mm-hmm. So when you say that, they're like, what? Right? Your interest rate was 4.65. And today, Lynette, the interest rates are 3.8. Now, I'm no like loan officer or anything, but I can tell you that's a significant savings on your house payment every month. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to email you some information on a service that we offer folks that are attached to me. So if you have my app, you've been in my database, you've done business with me before, it's a service that we're offering where you can refinance for free. Right? So just know what you're going to say. Have a few of those tools out there and know what you're going to say. And those are the things that we'll work on when we're in here, okay? So what we're going to be doing is during Bold, we have homework in Bold. And so we're going to be doing our homework here. We're going to have homework sessions here in the office. We started doing that my last 2 years as a team leader in Kentucky. It was very, very helpful because we were either like in tears or having nervous breakdowns or, you know, all the above. It was very difficult. It was hard. And we would all get together and help each other. And it was just a very supportive. And then just to walk out of that room and it was done. And we were all like, you know, and you had the whole rest of the week. And it wasn't like you're sitting in Bold that morning or driving there that morning and you're freaking out because you didn't have it done or you're going to lie or, you know, whatever it takes. Looking like, but I would never do that. I'm just saying they put you in very bad positions. Okay, so we asked if you had to double down. So, however, if you wake up every day and you said, I'm going to do one thing today that I know is going to move me forward. What's one thing today that you know is going to move you forward? And you all, it doesn't necessarily even have to be real estate related.
Go to the gym.
Go to the gym. And while you're at the gym, what could you do?
Listen to podcasts.
You could, or you could actually talk to people.
There you go.
You could do that, Tim. Like, I know that's you know, but you can talk to people. So what if you started wearing your realtor t-shirt every time you went to the gym? What if, oh my gosh, you're here at the crack of dawn too. I got a crazy busy day ahead. I got to get started early. Whatever, right? Some blah, blah. Talk to people, because that's me. Earbuds, don't look at me, don't talk to me. I got something to do. I'm going to get in, I'm going to get out. I don't want to be bothered with you and your yap and whatever you want to talk, right? I just want to get in and get out. Same way in the airplane, I'm the person in the airplane that puts my earbuds in if I'm not listening to music because I don't want people to talk to me. I'm a terrible person, like I am. Okay, and so, question. What are you doing that you think is keeping you from hitting your goals? What is something that you're doing that's keeping you from hitting your goal? Procrastinating.
Or overthinking it.
Overthinking it. The 20 things good about me exercise is a perfect example about that. Some of you are struggling way harder than others. I won't say who. Really? How many did you end up? Did you get 5? Yes. Woo! So think about that. What am I doing that's keeping me? Because we all think of, what do we need to do? What are you doing that's keeping you from doing that? And then one last thing to really think about this week is, what part of this business are you passionate about? Who's really passionate about keeping the paperwork straight? What part of the business are you passionate about? Okay, what part of the business do you tolerate best? Let's go there.
Working with clients.
Working with clients, and not all of them, right? Some of them are, but yeah, some of them are great. So what is it do you think that's like the most common?
Connecting people to the right home. Right?
Connecting people to the right home, helping people build wealth through real estate, right? Being able to help people, helping that single mom find a house for her and her kids, or that first-time buyer that didn't think they could buy a house, or somebody that's had crappy credit that never thought they'd be able to own a home and now they do, right? All the common denominator there is that you like to help people. All of you should have that as one of your 20 things. You like to help people. And obviously you aren't motivated by money, because you would just put the needs of people aside. You would all be bragging about yourself 24/7, right? And not even worrying about those things. So you're motivated by helping other people meet their needs. So if that's the thing that you're most passionate about, why isn't that the thing that we're focusing on? Connecting with those people, reminding them of who we are. Sitting here in the carpool lane with these babies before I go show houses, whatever, right? Like, reminding people of that you exist. So this week, everyone should have already sent me their 20. So now you have 30 more to go. I need those by next Monday. I know you have bold. I know it's whatever. I don't want to hear it. Just send me 30 more good things about you. I need 50 total. So, and then the other thing is, how am I going to better reconnect? Am I going to do that through social media? Am I going to start sending out some cards? What are the thing that I'm most passionate about? How am I going to remind myself why I'm in this business and why I'm passionate? Okay, I need 3 ahas.
Smart plan.
Smart plan, very good. That one got me, man,
Yes.
for like 2 months.
Yes.
Just sitting around like, why isn't this working? Yeah. What else?
That's what so that you learn how to.
Just play with it. Yeah, you cannot break it. Put yourself in. Put your significant other in. Put your dog in. I don't care.
And come to the classes that John does.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
come to his command
I was the only
classes.
one here this morning for database class, and but I got a good one-on-one with him.
Yeah. What else?
The speed of change, how rapid it is.
The speed of change, that we don't have the luxury anymore of waiting and thinking about it, and one day, and it's get on it now. Anything else? Did anybody figure out something else positive about themselves that they didn't remember before today? No? It'll come to you by next Monday, right? Great job today, you guys. This week, let's go!